Welcome to another Bite-Sized AI, where once again we have our AI expert Randy here to sort through the issues. Randy, I actually went to the theater last week and saw Young Washington. It's doing pretty well at the box office. Big battles, solid story about young George Washington. But when the credits rolled, I saw AI artists and even an AI producer listed. 5 AI artists! I didn't really notice any obvious fake stuff while watching, so now I'm confused. Is this cheating or smart?
Good question, Michael. The director, John Irwin, was open about it. They used AI on over 100 shots with tools like Luma, Amazon's Project Nara, and Magnific.
What exactly did they use it for?
Things like extending environments, adding crowds, enhancing cannon fire, and safely expanding the icy river scene. They filmed the actors in a controlled pool, then AI turned it into a vast freezing frontier river. The director called it safer and more affordable.
Affordable makes sense. This wasn't a giant studio movie, right?
Exactly. They were working with a smaller budget, around $20 million. That kind of money doesn't let you build huge 18th century sets or hire massive traditional video effects teams for every outdoor scene. A lot of it was shot on real locations, but they needed help recreating the full scale of the frontier and battles.
So AI stepped in where the budget couldn't.
Right. Critics might say jobs were lost to AI, but that assumes the budget was there to hire those extra video effects artists in the first place. On this budget, those shots probably wouldn't have existed at all, or the movie would have looked much smaller. Instead, it faithfully recreated the look and feel of the 18th century.
That's a good point. So it's not replacing a big crew that was already planned.
Exactly. They still did a lot practically first. AI just amplified what they could do.
But people still complain it ruins the art. Is this different from past tech?
Not really. When talkies arrived, critics said dialogue would kill real acting. Color was expensive and only for big films. Cleopatra in 1963 used huge practical sets and nearly bankrupted the studio. Gladiator used early computer-generated imagery for crowds and got called fake. Even colorizing old movies in the 1980s was attacked for violating the director's vision.
History really does repeat.
It does. Think about Citizen Kane. Its famous look with low angles and visible ceilings came from breaking traditional set rules. Creative limits drove innovation. AI is doing something similar for smaller productions today. It lets indie films create epic scale without needing blockbuster money.
So maybe we're getting more ambitious stories because of it.
That's the potential. The real test is whether the story connects. Young Washington seems to be doing that.
That's actually really fascinating, Randy. I think a lot of people, myself included, hear AI and just picture robots taking over, or really shoddy, cheap visuals trying to pass as art. But what you're describing sounds more like an advanced set of tools for human artists.
Precisely. It's an augmentation. Think of it like a really powerful, super efficient assistant. The vision, the artistic direction, the storytelling, that's still fundamentally human. AI handles the grunt work, the repetitive task, or fills in the gaps where physical limitations or budget constraints would otherwise prevent a shot from happening.
So the director still has to decide what they want that icy river to look like, right? The AI isn't just making creative choices on its own.
Exactly. The AI models are trained on existing data on real images and videos. An AI artist credited on a film isn't some autonomous entity generating shots from scratch. It's a human artist, a visual effects specialist, who is expertly prompting and guiding the AI tools to achieve a specific artistic outcome. They're like a conductor, and the AI is their orchestra.
That clarifies a lot. So it's less about the AI creating and more about it executing a human's vision more efficiently.
Right, and it brings up an important point about the jobs lost narrative. It's not necessarily about replacing human jobs, but evolving them. A VFX artist might spend less time painstakingly rotoscoping individual frames and more time directing AI to achieve complex effects, which in turn frees them up for more creative problem solving or developing new techniques.
But isn't there a risk of losing some of that tangible, practical artistry, like building a physical model or painting a matte background by hand? There's a certain craft to that, you know?
Absolutely, and that's a valid concern. We're talking about a balance. There will always be a place for practical effects and hands-on artistry. Many directors prefer it when budget and logistics allow. But for many productions, especially independent ones or those with historical settings that are incredibly expensive to recreate, AI offers a pathway to visual grandeur that was previously unattainable. It's about having more options in the filmmaker's toolkit.
So, what about the quality? I mean, I didn't notice anything fake in Young Washington, which is a good sign. But are there limits to what AI can convincingly do, especially when it comes to realism?
Definitely. We still talk about the uncanny valley, especially with human faces or complex character interactions. AI is incredible at environments, textures, and effects, but fine tuning human performance or subtle expressions still largely requires human intervention. The director and artist still need to have an incredibly discerning eye to ensure the AI generated elements blend seamlessly. A bad AI shot can absolutely pull you out of the movie, just like bad traditional CGI can.
And I guess that's where the AI artist credit comes in. It's not just the software, it's the people behind the software making it work.
Exactly. They're skilled professionals who understand both the artistic vision and the technical capabilities and limitations of these cutting edge tools. They're essentially pioneering a new craft within the film industry. And frankly, giving credit is crucial. It acknowledges their contribution and helps demystify the process.
It feels like a really fast moving target, too. What AI can do today is probably nothing compared to what it'll be capable of in 5 years.
That's a given. The pace of innovation is staggering. What cost millions and took months for CGI just a decade ago, AI can now do in a fraction of the time and cost. This will continue to democratize filmmaking. Think about indie filmmakers who previously couldn't dream of historical epics or sci-fi adventures now having tools to realize those visions. It means more diverse stories, more voices potentially.
More diverse stories, more voices. That sounds like a net positive for cinema, doesn't it?
I think so. It lowers the barrier to entry for certain types of productions. It means a great script doesn't necessarily get shelved because it requires an unattainable visual scale. It allows filmmakers to be more audacious in their storytelling, knowing they have powerful tools to back them up.
So it might actually push human creativity rather than stifle it, giving us bigger canvases.
That's the optimistic view, and one I tend to subscribe to. The human element, the imagination, the emotional core of a story, that's still paramount. AI is a paintbrush, but the artist still holds the brush. And with more sophisticated brushes, artists can create masterpieces they never could before.
That's a really great way to put it, Randy. I feel a lot less confused now, and honestly, a bit more excited about the possibilities. It's not about replacing creativity, but augmenting it.
Exactly. As with any powerful technology, there are always concerns and valid discussions to be had about ethics, job displacement, and artistic integrity. But dismissing it outright often overlooks the immense potential for good, for pushing boundaries and creating art that connects with people in new and profound ways.
And the audience, like me, just wants a good story well told. If AI helps deliver that and it looks great, I guess that's the ultimate metric.
Precisely. The technology should serve the story, not the other way around. And when it's used effectively, as it appears to be in Young Washington, the audience benefits most.
That wraps up another bite-sized AI episode, keeping you relevant in an AI world. So what do you think, everyone? Is AI in movies a good thing, or does it ruin the art? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.